Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kasmi 107.1 FM and across the world at renews.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Lawyers of embattled Ashanti Regional Chairman of MPP Bernard Enchibu seek a plea deal in the 30 million cedi Exim Bank loan fraud case at the Accra High Court. Also on the program this morning, committee set up to look into the Akosombo Dam fire outbreak, submits report, and has attributed the inferno to insulation failure. We have details. And much later on the program, we'll take you to the Eastern region where 6 suspects have been arrested in connection with the cultivation of cannabis at Insuta in the Okre district. For joining us this afternoon. Now, the committee set up to look into the Akosombo Dam fire outbreak has attributed the inferno to insulation failure, making the nation lose power of over 1,000 megawatts. The committee was given 4 weeks to come up with a report detailing the lapses and possible recommendations. Chairman of the committee, Engineer Amona, presents the final investigation report to the Energy and Green Transition Minister Dr. John Abdullahi Jinapo, and in that report, he's recommended, among other things, that a state-of-the-art control room be established to replace the 1964 one. We'll be hearing from the minister, but first, let's speak to our man, George Quenin. He'll be joining us very shortly as well. So here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7, I did tell you that George Quenin is currently at the committee that is presenting its report on that fire, the Akosombo area. He's at that meeting. He joins us live on the phone. George, what can you tell us? Hello, George Quenin. Can you hear me? Hello, George. All right. George, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, you're currently with the committee presenting the report on the Akosombo fire. What can you tell us?
So we have 2 more time. So we are just done. So the committee was set up following the inferno. So the inferno happened on May 23. So they were given 4 weeks to look into this very incident. And so they were tasked to look into the lapses and possible recommendations. So they are done. They actually finished 2 days before the 4 weeks. And so they presented that report to the minister. And the information was a bit scanty. Hopefully you get the full report. But I'll just give you a highlight of what they said. So the cause was attributed to insulation failure. That was the reason. And the control center has been established since 1962. So most of the equipment is there obsolete. And so per their recommendations, a state-of-the-art control center should be established to replace that old one. And the minister has actually accepted the report, and he says they'll apply the recommendations in full and also invest heavily in the sector to ensure that we have a resilient energy sector. So basically that's what happened. It's scanty information. Hopefully if you get the final report, you can just tell what more the recommendations are in that report, Beatrice.
Let's hear the engineer and what he said there, and I'll come back to conclude the conversation with you.
We can strengthen the system, make it more responsive, improve our emergency response system, maintenance culture, and more importantly, invest in the grid in order to have a resilient energy sector. So I will communicate to His Excellency the President, and I'm sure that he will formally thank you. Already I know that the control center, a temporary one, is being built using containerized structures because we can't continue to evacuate power the way we're doing it. This is a temporary measure. Beyond the containerized one, we've given us an indication that we need to build a state-of-the-art, ultra-modern control room that is fit for purpose. I mean, to continue to use that building since 1964, a lot has changed, and we need to also change to adapt to emerging situations. This setup calls for a lot of investment. And to invest, we need to spend money or capital judiciously and efficiently. And that's why we are doing whatever we can to improve the sector. I believe that the energy sector should eventually be self-reliant. We can't continue to fall on the national budget for huge sums of money to subsidize that sector. We could have used those monies for hospitals, for schools, and for other social interventions. And in well-doing countries, the energy sector rather even contributes to the revenue source of government. And from what we are doing and looking at the progress we are making, if we continue working in that direction with the support of the people of Ghana, I'm sure that we'll get there. Let me thank you once again. Let me express my appreciation to you. We would make full use of the recommendations and wouldn't hesitate to call on you along the line if the need arises. On that note, I accept the report and I thank everybody. God bless us all. Thank you.
And that was rather the Energy Minister, John Abdullahi Jinapor, addressing journalists. But George Quenning is still on the line with us. George, what more should we expect beyond this?
Like I already mentioned, the amendment will actually ensure that the recommendations are applied to the latter. And so there will be some sort of massive investment into the Great Ghana's grid, of course. And so with that, they will ensure that there's resilient power sector. We all want to have, power running throughout the time. So huge investments will mean that this will come to fruition. Beatrice.
Indeed. Thank you very much, George Quenning, my colleague, following that presentation of the committee's report regarding the Akosombo fire. And 6 suspects have been arrested in connection with the cultivation of cannabis at Insuta in the Okra district of the Eastern region. The Drug Law Enforcement Unit of the Criminal Investigations Department is currently at the site destroying the approximately 4-acre cannabis farm as investigations continue. Superintendent Dr. Samuel Entry Akumia is the Director, Police High Risk Operation Training Center.
Every police officer is wild when it comes to the use of drugs. And wherever you are or wherever you may want to do your plantation or cultivation, trust me, when we get a hint, we will come after you and we will not come low-key, we will come hard at you. So please, my very advice to the youth is that it is possible to stay away from drugs, okay? And so that is the only responsibility I urge you, to stay away from these drugs, because when we lay hands on you, trust me, it is then that you know that the law has a long arm and we will not spare you. Thank you.
And I had the Superintendent Dr. Samuel Enchiakomia. He's the Director at the Police High Risk Operations Training Center. And shortly, we should be crossing over to our correspondent, Yvonne Nikwe. She is in the Eastern region and she monitored this for us. She joins us live on the line. Yvonne, what more can you tell us about this arrest?
Well, Beatrice, as I speak to you, the police have finished the destruction of the farm. They're moving to the new place to ensure that that particular site too gets destructed as they process the suspect for the law court. But what is more intriguing is how these suspects were able to pull utilities, having electricity to the farms to be used probably at the cost of the state as they engage in this unlawful farming of the cannabis. the police says it is not going to allow such activities to go on. Even if they have arrested them, they are going to ensure that any other farmlands in the vicinity or in the region get distracted as well.
And Yvonne, how is the community reacting to this, or is the information yet to spread to them?
Well, this is a typical farm area. The houses are like hamlets in the bushes. You see one, you move 200 meters before, you see another house or residence as well. The investigation the police is still doing. Of course, these people know what these suspects do, because if they're able to pull electricity from a house to the farm, then they very well know exactly what they are engaged in. But the police says whoever is an accomplice or whoever receives them as hosts in their community, they're going to track all of them down as it continues its investigation.
Thank you very much, Yvonne Nikwe. She is our Eastern Region correspondent. The MPP Ashanti Region Chairman Bernard Entry-Boesiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, is seeking a plea deal in his 30 million Ghana cedi Exim Bank loan fraud case. This is one of three criminal prosecutions involving the businessman politician. In a note filed before the High Court, Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Shremsai said that Wuntumi's lawyers requested to initiate the plea negotiation in a letter dated the 5th of June 2026. Let's speak to lead counsel for Wuntumi, Andy Apia-Kubi, who joins us on the phone. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Hello? All right, it looks like we have a problem with the line to Andy Apia-Kubi, but you're still here on the Midday News on 3 FM 92.7. Stay with us.
Greetings in the name of His Majesty.
Accra, Ghana.
And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Thank you for staying. Now, the mother of the day-old baby who went missing at the Salaga Government Hospital says she is traumatized, sad and depressed at the thought that her baby girl has been stolen. She demands the return of her baby. Now, on Wednesday, the 10th of June 2026, a newborn baby reportedly went missing at the Salaga Government Hospital. 2 suspects have so far been arrested and expected to appear before court today. Let's go to Salaga now and engage my colleague Christopher Mwakon, who's been following this story since it broke. Chris, if you can hear me, give us the account of how this incident first of all happened.
Yes, so Beatrice, your voice is very faint. I can hardly hear you.
I was asking you to give us an account regarding what happened. I hope you heard me.
Yes, so yesterday, baby was reportedly stolen at the Salaga Hospital. As we speak, 2 persons have been arrested as a result of that. Now, the circumstances leading to the missing of the baby has to do with the fact that after the mother delivered the baby, according to the hospital authorities, was having some issues with breathing. And so they had to take the baby to the neonatal intensive care unit, where she was put on oxygen for some time. Now, the nurse, the midwife, and other NICU staff who were there left to do their own thing. And within 20 minutes, the baby was nowhere to be found. As it stands now, the baby is still not found. But I can confirm to you that the 2 persons who were arrested have been taken to Tamale, the circuit court. We are waiting to hear what the has to say on that matter. We can also confirm that the hospital has constituted an investigative committee. The regional health director has also constituted an investigative committee who have since visited the hospital as we speak. They are still in Salaga. And so, BT, the issue is under investigation. Both internally and the police have also taken the matter up. Now, the mother of the baby has since been talking to us, been expressing her frustration and disappointment. Let's take a listen to what she's been saying.
So, me, my mother, fan or Aqualano. No, Oman Penise or Mofia Aqualano. No, Omose Aqualano, no fan. Mi kuno koto adrono omowe fa akorano ntemi kuno akota adrono omafi akorano na maveda mpanaso akorano omo afa akorano mame ntemi kuno ne me mame no omo ahu na akorano na ma sorry akwa biso omo se akorano wai na omo se akorano wa baby omo fe akorano me ko fe no akorano ni o na ma be choro omo
But what walk colony, the one who are colony?
But your man,
or your bar, Nabema,
or your bar, or your bar.
It is a sea, no, who are colano. Wapomodimu to say one casano, saying a semno, a sea fire.
Asano, the Asino say, a colano, or one far colana mammy. Okay, and a hammer.
Okay. All right. So basically, what this woman is saying is that after delivering, yes, she actually saw the baby is a female, but later when she inquired to have a feel of the baby, she was told that the baby was nowhere to be found. And as it stands now, more than 24 hours, the baby is still not found. And so she's worried, she's traumatized, even though she's in a stable condition.
Obviously, a traumatized woman there, listening to her voice. But Christopher Marco, tell us the state in which you found her. I mean, we've heard her voice, but describe to us how she looked and her demeanor, even as you approached her to speak to her eventually. Hello, Christopher.
Hello, Beatrice.
Yes, what I was asking you was that obviously listening to the woman, she's traumatized, and she did confirm it in that conversation you had with her. But beyond her voice, you spoke to her. Tell us her demeanor and how she looked, even as you approached her to have this conversation.
Yes, Beatrice, she looks a bit strong today because from what we heard yesterday that she was she was unstable after delivering the baby, because we are told that she came in a different condition because of prolonged labor. But as it stands now, she's okay. Mentally, she has been counseled by the hospital management, and the doctor even told me that probably upon the advice of the regional health director, they may discharge her to go home. But you look at her, this is her first delivery, and she's very, very sad about the whole issue.
What are hospital officials saying as well?
Yes, so Beatrice, they are giving the assurances that they are going to cooperate with police to ensure that investigation goes on smoothly. They have also begun their internal investigation. This is the first time that such an incident has befallen the hospital. They've taken a cue from that, and they are going to ensure that they up their game when it comes to security. They've also been assuring the public to still have trust in the hospital. Let's take a listen to what the hospital administrator has been saying.
Yeah, this was an incident that was brought to our attention, myself and the medical superintendent, whilst we were on our way to Salaga. So quickly we informed the staff to make a formal report to the police. Because this is something strange to us. As a hospital, we have never experienced this situation. So we had to report to the police for the police to take it up. What Salaga Hospital is known for, in fact, is taking care of abandoned babies that have been abandoned and brought to this institution. So it was something that was very traumatizing and worrying to the hospital management. And then the management felt that they should involve the police. So this incident was also reported to the Regional Director of Health Services. And as we talk, the Regional Director has constituted a team who are on their way to Salaga to also come and assess the situation and get the facts and circumstances surrounding the whole incident. We have engaged the family. Yesterday, the atmosphere was so tense. But as time went on, when things were calm, we engaged the relatives. And then we expressed our disappointment at the whole issue, and we took them through counseling. The woman too has also been taken through counseling, and she's attending to treatment well. She's doing well. This morning, she was reviewed, and she's even walking around. Our interaction with the midwives confirmed that there was a young lady that was loitering around, of which they even questioned her what she was doing there. But then she said she was waiting for somebody. Somebody has asked her to wait there, and that she was waiting for the person. And the young lady, they described her and all that. So we are looking at it, how we can put that information together to see how we can give this information out, so that together we'll see how the public can help and support the hospital to unravel the situation and help bring back this baby.
And you had the Salaga Government Hospital Administrator, Christopher. Very briefly, tell us more about what the police is saying. I know this morning you spoke to him whilst we were live on New Day, but tell us briefly what the police has been saying and any update from them. We lost Christopher Amwako there, but earlier you heard him say that the suspects, as it were, have been sent to Tamale to face the court, and we'll bring you updates as and when we have that. In other news, a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Patrick Adu, has cautioned against potential misrepresentation and propaganda by government in the handling of xenophobic attacks against foreign nationals in South Africa. He says the sensitive nature of the issue requires a measured and factual approach that reflects principles of diplomacy, adding that the foreign minister must urgently appear before Parliament to address pressing concerns. Patrick Adu says discrepancies in accounts by local and South African officials expressing worry about the investment challenges may mishap, and any mishap could create.
We know that there are over 25 to 30,000 Ghanaian nationals in South Africa. It will be very good for the foreign minister to come and brief the House, because we don't want any propaganda, misrepresentation, or any form of unconventional diplomatic means to be adopted. Ghana and South Africa have enjoyed enormous diplomatic relationship. Look at the investment South Africans have in Ghana. MTN, Stanbic Bank, a lot of investment that the mining companies, Goldfields and other companies, and what they've brought into this country in terms of jobs, in terms of revenue. So our push is for the foreign minister to come and brief the House so that we can also, as a House and as a Parliament, assist in ensuring that diplomatic relationship between South Africa is not ruined, so that any issue that the government or the foreign minister has with some of the issues that he thinks must be addressed, the House can also be apprised of it so that we all address it.
And he has a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament, Patrick Boama. He also urged the Speaker and leadership of the House to summon the Foreign Affairs Minister without delay, and we'll bring you that later. Now, the Sataso Bridge linking Mampong and Edra in the Ashanti region has caved in for the second time in a row while still under construction. This has left thousands of passengers, drivers and traders trapped on both sides of the road, with dozens of trucks loaded with foodstuff immobilized. These trucks are mostly moving from the farming communities of Edra into Kumasi and Accra. Already flagged by commuters as a death trap, the bridge links Kumasi Mampong Edra to Atebu route and serves as a critical national road. Though the contractor MJB Construction is presently on site with repair works, the road caved in again this morning following heavy rains. And my colleague Ibrahim Abubakar has an update on this for us. He joins us live on the phone. Ibrahim, what can you tell us?
So, Beatrice, I'm still at the scene, and as I speak to you, scores of motorists and commuters are still stranded here. Some got here as early as 1 a.m. and they are still here. And currently, judging by the situation here, it will be difficult for any vehicle to be able to use this route today. And many travelers are now being forced to look for alternatives. But that also comes at, I would say, maybe significant inconvenience because one has to travel for hours. For instance, if you are moving from Mampong to Edra or to Achebubu or Yeji, you have to go back to Kumasi, use Ofinso to Techimai. Then you will link to Edra, which will take you like 4 or 5 hours, whilst you could have moved from here to the area in less than an hour. And others are also being asked to use the Kofiase route. But then the challenge is that road is also quite unmotorable, especially for big vehicles. So the smaller ones are able to maneuver their way and access it. So currently the situation is very, very serious. Others are confused. They do not know whether they will have to sleep here. Others, like I said, have even returned to Kumasi, hoping that by tomorrow or the following days, something will be done for the road to be motorable for them to be able to pass. But currently, what they are saying is calling on the government to ensure that as a matter of urgency, they try and fix the situation so that any form of inconvenience will be.
All right. Thank you very much, Ibrahim Abubakar. We'll have to end it here and I'll come to you later for the latest on it. Now, the much anticipated FIFA World Cup begins today, and for football fans across the world, the excitement has already started. Over the next few weeks, the biggest names in world football, the loudest fans and the strongest national teams will all be chasing one dream: to be crowned world champions. For Ghana, the focus will be on the Black Stars and how far they can go in the tournament. The expectations are high. The conversations have already started, and every Ghana game will come with its own pressure, passion and drama. Media General will be right at the center of the action. Across our television, radio and digital platforms, we will bring audiences coverage of 34 matches, including all Ghana games. There will be match previews, live updates, experts' analyses, fan reactions, highlights, and all the major talking points from the tournament. So whether you're watching, listening or following online, stay with Media General for your World Cup experience. The FIFA World Cup begins today and the football conversation starts right here, and will be starting from 4:30 p.m. today at Media General, TV3, 3FM, Onuan TV and Onuan FM. And of course, across our affiliate platforms. That's it for the midday news here on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Coming up shortly is Business Daily.
Here on 3FM 92.7. Coming up this afternoon, Ghana pushes for greater private investment and regional collaboration to unlock West Africa's gas potential and drive industrial growth. And Ghana's economy surged 6.4% in first quarter of 2026, driven by mining and services. Plus, Ghana's economy surged 6.4% in first quarter of 2026, driven by mining and services. We will bring you details of our headlines and other stories to you shortly. Do stay with us. Let's now settle for the details, and my name is Deborah Bamensa. In our first story, Ghana pushes for greater private investment and regional collaboration to unlock West Africa's gas potential and drive industrial growth. Government is urging West African countries to strengthen cross-border gas trade and create more investor-friendly environment to accelerate industrialization and improve energy security across the sub-region. Authorities say expanding gas infrastructure and regional market integration will help reduce energy costs, attract long-term investment, and support economic growth. The call was made by Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Richard Jan Mensah, at the opening of the 2026 West Africa Gas Summit in Accra, where industry leaders and policymakers are meeting to discuss the future of region's gas sector.
Private investment and regional collaboration, none of which can succeed alone. Sustainable market requires both supply and demand. Gas provides a cleaner, more efficient, and more economical alternative across power manufacturing, cement, and then also petrochemical industry. West African gas pipeline shows what is achievable, but there are still significant potentials to expand interconnection across cross-border trade. The more integrated our markets are, the more resilient and appealing they become. Our responsibility is to establish clear policies, transparent regulations, and a stable environment because investors value certainty and predictability. A major challenge across Africa is transforming ideas into bankable projects. Platforms that support project preparation and readiness can speed up implementation. The opportunity in West Africa is huge. We have the resources, we have the talents, we have the institutions and the partnership to thrive. What's needed now is ongoing commitments, coordinated efforts, and a shared drive to turn our potentials into real progress.
And you heard what the voice you just heard is Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Richard Jan Mensah. Away from that, Tullow Oil announced on June 10, 2026 that its Ghanaian drilling campaign is progressing robustly, positioning the company to hit the higher end of its annual production guidance range of 34,000 to 42,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day, backed by an exceptional facility uptime of over 99.00% across the Jubilee and 10 FPSO platform. From January to May, the third of 6 scheduled Jubilee wells is expected to come on stream this week. Furthermore, the Minister of Energy has approved the Greater Jubilee Plan of further development, greenlighting the drilling of up to 20 additional wells to secure the country's long-term production base. Let's do more stories. Now, Ghana's economy expanded by an impressive 6.40% in the first quarter of 2026, signaling a robust recovery following years of fiscal adjustment and debt restructuring. Data from the Ghana Statistical Service reveals that the strong performance was primarily propelled by growth in information and communication, gold mining, trade, transport, and crop production. There's more in the following 3 Business News Desk report.
Elevating export earnings and stabilizing the macroeconomic environment, the extractive and services sectors have provided critical support to national output. However, the recovery remains uneven across the country. Significant contractions were recorded in the fishing sector, which plummeted by 18.50% due to high cost and declining stocks, while accommodation and food services fell by 13.60%. Real estate and health sectors also experienced declines, highlighting ongoing challenges with affordability and high construction costs. While the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana welcomed the faster-than-expected growth as a sign that fiscal consolidation has not choked the economy, pressure remains to tame inflation. Moving forward, policymakers face the crucial test of spreading this momentum into broader manufacturing and job-creating sectors to ensure the recovery translates into tangible income gains for ordinary Ghanaians.
And before we go, the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry says the government's Big Push infrastructure program is helping to transform perceptions of the construction sector, making contractors more attractive to financial institutions that were previously reluctant to lend to them. For years, many construction firms struggled to access financing as banks view the sectors as high risk due to delayed payment, project uncertainties, and weak cash flows.
The Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry says perceptions of the sector are beginning to improve following the government's Big Push agenda, which aims to accelerate infrastructure development across the country. According to the Chamber, the scale of projects earmarked under the program, coupled with clearer implementation frameworks, is boosting lenders' confidence in the construction sector. The Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Emmanuel Cherry, said financial institutions that were once skeptical about doing business with contractors are now showing renewed interest. He was speaking to the media on the sidelines of a ceremony to present a trophy and citation for the 2024-2025 Ghana Construction Industry Excellence Award.
The industry has been shortchanged in terms of indebtedness from government to contractors, which has brought us in a very bad light. But with the introductions or emergence of the Big Push, a lot of changes has happened in the industry as we speak today. We were used to be a scarecrow to some of the financial institutions as well as insurance companies and the suppliers and manufacturing sector. But today we are proud to see that in reverse, they are now chasing us. Generally, the Big Push has been a game changer for the construction industry.
The Chamber also commended the government for settling part of its debt owed to contractors, but called for a clear commitment towards paying the outstanding balance.
As for the legacy debt as we speak now, so far government has tried by making approximately almost 12 billion payments made so far out of the 44 plus billion that has been inherited from the previous administration. So we may applaud them, but as you and I know, 12 out of 44 is just a drop. So there is a chunk amount of money which is still in the books that's supposed to have been cleared. So government has promised that it will be taking it one after the other. So we are hoping.
And that was reported.